So this time we are going to start a project with a kit from Planet Models. As you can see, it's a Zetor 25, it's a tractor in 1/72 scale. It should be quite an interesting kit, and let's not forget about this. As you can see, it's a detailed resin kit, so here you can see also some 3D images. We reviewed this kit before, so you can find the full video with the internal components, let's say, on YouTube as well. But let's open this box and check what is the first step for the assembly. So I think I noted it in the initial video review. Here you can see the first step, and straight away you have to do a lot of steps. So not only you have to install the resin parts altogether, you have to install the PE parts, you have to use the wire here, as you can see, you have to use wire here for the belts, and it looks like a lot of work to do straight away on the first step, but also the second step doesn't look easier. So it will be a lot of fun to do, and I also have to decide the marking option for this vehicle because there are two offered in the kit. And here, by the way, you can see all of the parts. So the casting quality was quite nice, but of course it will be important to carefully separate the parts so that they will look more or less like on the real vehicle. And from this I think we can start by opening those parts and starting with the first component, which is basically this main chassis, which will be housing all other external elements. So here you can see that the assembly is not going really fast, but I installed several parts. I also replicated those belts on the engine, and they are replicated with the masks. Even though manufacturer is suggesting to replicate them with help of metal wire, I decided not to do so because it's obviously not up to scale, and the metal wire will be round and the belt should be plain. So that's why the masking tape was used. You can also notice that there are a lot of PE parts already, and there will be even more. I also installed the first metal wire here to replicate the connection between the pedal. And well, the next steps will be installation of even more parts made out of resin and also out of PE. So it's quite interesting process. So here you can see the tractor in its final stage, and you can notice that it was painted, it was a bit weathered. I painted also some minor elements. I also drilled out the headlights because they were solid and there are no clear parts, so I decided to make a small modification. But you can also see the small amount of the CA glue, well, because somehow I left this extra portion, let's say, and now it's a bit hard to clean up. So here it is. It's a small lesson for the future. And also here you have to use your own metal wire, as you remember, so it was used for the various brake lines and all other stuff, and it looks quite in place here. So I would say it wasn't difficult to install, and the same can be said about the overall fitment of the parts, so it's not problematic to get them together, and as long as you pay attention to their fitment, you dry fit them first, then you won't have any issues, and overall it will be quite easy. The problems which I had was mainly with the headlamps, because they are quite tender, and well, if you install the standard stock ones without drilling them out, it should be fine, but I was trying to drill them out and it's really difficult to hold them in place, and that's why I accidentally broke both legs, connecting legs. So what you see in here is actually the metal wire which I used in order to imitate this supporting legs, but that's not how it should be on the model. On the model it should be a bit more elegant, because the resin legs obviously are thinner than what I replicated here. Nevertheless, the model itself is quite tiny, so if you haven't figured, here is comparison with my fingertip, and well, I can pick it like this, and as you can see it's very tiny. Just to give you another idea, here is the typical battery, and as you can see it's barely the size of the battery, so quite a small model, and this is something to remember in case you would like to work on this build, because it requires some precision and maybe also some tools. And what I'm trying to do right now, that's why the model is not in the focus, I'm trying to return also one more build. This is the Stück from Miniart, and why I'm laughing, because you can see the comparison. The size, the Stück wasn't that big, but this tractor is even smaller, and it's quite a fun challenge, especially considering that the Stück was the plastic kit and this one is the resin kit, where you have to do a lot of work with the CA glue, you have to work with PE parts, and also you have to have some precision and some, let's say, experience of working with resin parts, because obviously it's not exactly the same as what you're doing with the plastic parts. But overall I would say it was quite a fine thing, and well, I definitely recommend it to modelers who would like to have a small towing tractor in their aircraft diorama. Maybe they would like to build it a solo project as I did. And it should be still available in both versions. I mean the towing version and also the civil version. You can find it on Special Hobby website. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion. So what do you think about such tiny kits? Do you build them at all? Write it in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.